So, have you ever wondered what pet experts want you to know about animals and especially dogs? Well, I asked 10 of my very favorite pet experts, and over the course of the next few videos, I'm going to share with you what they said. Today, we're going to focus on 3 people that are in the animal advocacy world. They foster dogs, they work with shelter dogs, they work with rescue dogs, they're just amazing in that community. Before we get started, I'm drinking a Cabernet. Now, let's get into it. So the first person is Tony, and Tony, here's what she wants you to know. Number 1, humans need the training. And that is so true. When I go to somebody's home, it usually takes them about 10 minutes to realize I'm there to train them and then the dog. So it's so true. We need training with animals. This isn't about always training the dog. It's about what do we need to learn to be better humans to our animals. The other thing that Tony said is animals deserve autonomy. I completely agree with this. And see my video on choice theory, see my video on organic training. I think it's so important that our dogs have some sense of independence to gain confidence in that way, and also just mutual respect, like respecting that they are individuals. So letting them have choices, giving them independence, insanely important for our animals. Number 3 is we need to understand dog body language so we can, and also to just sort of know our energy, know how we contribute to a situation. I completely agree with this so much. Obviously, like body language, and you're going to see this come up a lot, but body language, we need to be able to see and recognize what a dog is telling us, and so we can react appropriately. So like, for instance, I can't believe how many times I've seen a dog show fear towards a person and a person just, oh, come here, it's okay, reaching their hand out, doing all these things, trying to befriend the dog who is very clearly saying, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want you to pursue me in this way. So understanding body language and being respectful of it is so important. Plus, it also keeps us safe. Also, what she said about energy, so important. 40% of what dogs are going off of all the time is energy. So we have to have a certain level of calm. Like if our dogs are anxious, maybe we're anxious. Maybe we are adding to that. If we're kind of hyper and we can't sit down and we can't relax and then we're upset that our dogs are hyper, we need to take some personal responsibility of the energy that we are creating, the energy we are giving off that our dogs are feeding off of and reacting to. So also I spoke to Trina. Here's what Trina wants you to know. Dogs need time and patience. And I know what she means by this because she means when you get a new dog, and I don't care if it's a puppy, I don't care if it's a senior dog or you just rescued a 1 or 2-year-old dog, all dogs coming into your home, into your life that are new to you need some time and patience on your part so they can adjust and acclimate and kind of figure out where they are and what's going on because they're just trying to take it in and it's quite overwhelming for them. She also wants you to know that dogs don't understand as much as we think they do, especially in terms of wrongness. And that couldn't be more true. We overly personify dogs in terms of wrongness all the time. They're guilty. They knew they did wrong. They're showing jealousy. Those are all very human emotions, and we are overly humanizing dogs all the time to their detriment. So dogs oftentimes, these things that we think they know are wrong, they don't know they're wrong, and we haven't taught them properly what is correct to even set them up for success. The third thing Trina wants to know, and this one really hit me to my heart, is we only have a limited amount of time with our dogs. And unfortunately, they don't live as long as we want them to. This time you have with your dog is precious. Let the little things go. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. Some things certainly need to be addressed, but there's so many things we get upset about and fussy about, and so many things we worry too much about that are just really ultimately not that big of a deal. Soak in this time with your dog. It's limited, it's fleeting, and it's so precious. So please remember that we only have them for a small amount of time, and give them the best life you possibly can and enjoy your life with them, because when they're not here, you're going to regret that you didn't take the time or that you got upset about something really silly. So be mindful of that. I also spoke to Megan, and what Megan wants you to know is animals have big feelings. Totally true. And she doesn't mean this in the way of overly personifying. She means basically dogs have good days and bad days. Dogs show, fear and confusion, or have fear and confusion. And feelings like that are really common in dogs, or getting overly excited, and then impulse control goes out the window, and then they do something, they get too mouthy or too jumpy, or they do something they shouldn't. These are just big feelings dogs have. We have big feelings too. I don't know why we get so upset when our dogs have big feelings, but I think that's a really good thing to remember, is they have big feelings and they're trying to navigate those just like we are. Number 2 is we have put so many expectations on dogs, and they truly are doing the best they can. I think this is important as well. So I'm just going to give a very clear example of this. Is my dog is good 99.9% of the time. And I took her on a walk the other day with a small dog, and she was just a hot mess. I mean, she was such a hot mess that she actually at one point got overly excited and started, or I don't know if overly excited is the right word. She really kind of, I think, got a little overwhelmed, and she started pulling on the leash, which she rarely does. And it was just one of those days. And I swear to you, I could, my expectation, of course, was that she was going to be really good on the walk. But, back to the big feelings thing too. She's just having a day. She's having a moment. And I honestly did not care. I truly did not care. I was just like, all right, so you're being a shit show today. Cool. Tomorrow's a new day. But I do think we have to be reasonable about our expectations. Wanting our dogs to be perfect all the time, do something 100% of the time is absolutely ridiculous. Nobody in your life does that. Why would your dog? A living soul. And the third thing that she wants you to know is that dogs desperately need enrichment. I can't really express this or oversell this. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know how often I say the need for enrichment. Dogs have all this energy in their body. If you're not exercising them in different forms, not just the same thing, but toy play, going for walks, maybe doing new things like agility or dock diving or nose work. But if you're not doing some form of enrichment, it's really to their detriment. They can only be as good as their energy allows them to be. So if you're not satiating the energy inside of them, you're setting them up for failure. Speaking of energy, dogs have just as much energy in their mind as they do their body. So you need to be doing some mental training, mental exercise with them as well. Training is a great way to do that. So is treat dispensing toys, mental enrichment, puzzles, and things like that, games. All of those are fantastic to exercise the body and the mind. So I really hope these tips help you. These 3 people are just such experts with dog, body language, emotions. I mean, they have been the foster, shelter, rescue world for all of them a decade or more. So they really are experts, and I respect them and I look to them, and these tips they gave you, really take those to heart, because they're really beautiful, beautiful things that they said and shared with all of us. So I hope these things helped you. Happy training, happy drinking. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, because I have more videos coming and for other pet experts, and you're gonna want to hear what their tips are as well, because they are awesome. So I'll see you guys next time.